Now we have Ari Lennox, who has decided that she is going to forever retire from social media. And she made an announcement detailing her plan to do so. She cites the well being of her mental health or the well being of her self and her overall well being as to why she is moving away from this, but not without giving everybody a blueprint for how you'll still be able to interact with her and find her. But she says, beginning, I think December. I think she said starting in December, she will no longer be on social media. She is getting out of there. She is ridding herself from it because her happiness means more than anything else. So this says Ari Lennox announces permanent departure from social media. My happiness is worth more. Ari Lennox has kicked off the countdown to her permanent departure from all social media platforms, offering fans a detailed explanation behind her decision. The DC native ironically made the announcement via social media on Friday, cross posting the same mirror selfie and lengthy caption to Instagram and Facebook. I'm working on a plan to transition off of social media for good. I don't believe I'll ever mature and be happy as long as I have it. So my last day of socials will be December 18th, my second year, my 2 years sobriety anniversary. I will be deleting my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok permanently. The fear of losing brand deals, music sales, N words, and bitches will no longer keep me here.
Yeah.
To all of my beautiful fans, I'm just happy. I'm just not happy nor thriving here. I have a very toxic and codependent relationship with these apps. My happiness is worth more to me than using these platforms to promote. I truly believe I can get creative with marketing elsewhere. I'm so exhausted with my addiction to the internet and gossip and attention and validation and yearning to be in control and oversharing. I just want to be free and complete. I would like to offer other spaces where you can find me, and that's youtube.com/Ari Lennox and arilennox.com and on the singing stage or outside. I ain't going front like this has been cute. It hasn't. I love y'all so much. Please subscribe to my mailing list on my website to remain updated on my 2025 album and tour, or don't. Also, my bad if my drama causes any distractions or insensitivity, as I'm aware of the constant horror going on in the world. I just need to give my sweeties a heads up. I'll be good and I'm excited for this journey. I'm an extreme person. It will forever be all or nothing with me. She signed off using both her stage name, Ari, and her real first name, Courtney. While fans flooded the comments of her Facebook post with support and empathy, those on Instagram did not have the option to comment on the post at all. The IG post did receive over 100,000 likes within the first 2 hours. So, Ari Lennox is detoxing forever from social media. She's getting off. She referenced a lot of stuff in there, man. Um, just to repeat some of those highlights. Um, uh, the fear of losing brands, music sales, and N words and B words will no longer keep me here. I am just not happy nor thriving here. I have a very toxic and codependent relationship. My happiness is worth more than using these things to promote. I'm exhausted with my addiction to the internet and gossip, attention and validation, and yearning to be in control. So, what are your thoughts on Ari Lennox saying enough is enough with social media? She is done. For all intents and purposes, it is a wrap. If you do not see her on YouTube or subscribe to her mailing list or check out her website, there's pretty much no way that you can know what she has going on.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I commend it. I really commend her for doing this. It's bold of her for having so many followers and people that are interested in what she got going on. Um, I don't know if I mean she's gonna delete it off her phone. I don't know if she's gonna delete her account. I mean, I don't think it makes sense to delete your account. I mean, I think it just makes sense to still run. Still have your team run it. You don't have to be on it. I think one of these things where, it's a two-pronged thing. It's one of those things that was best said silent so you can keep making your cash. But I think this is also a situation of her saying that she's done with it so others could follow suit. So I commend her for that. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at Dogon_SS. TikTok at Dogon_SS as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really feel like, you know what I'm saying? on the flip side of that, you're not really making a bold statement about not being on Facebook no more or Instagram. TikTok nowadays, for you to say that you're not in a TikTok, um, that's pretty big. But if you're on TikTok, you see how trash it is. So you don't really need that either. So so it's kind of easy to do that. If you're a person that, a little bit older, and you're thinking about your well-being or whatever, you really don't need those apps. Like they really have degenerated into absolute garbage. It is actually just a cesspool full of whatever. You don't control your For You pages anymore. You used to be able to control that with the people that you followed, the images or videos you liked, and you would get actual recommendations based upon your personal algorithm. Nowadays, it's just absolute whatever they want to feed you. And so I can see why, her not wanting to be involved in, gossip, garbage, and the melee that's running rampant on those platforms. Shout out the YouTube algorithm. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys serve up this video as well. But at the same time, man, YouTube searches ain't what they used to be either. I mean, you could try to search for what you're actually trying to look for, and you're not going to find it. So, social media has really taken a turn from actually being social media for the people that actually want to find what they want to find and be a part of what they want to be a part of, to what these corporations want people to turn into. So for her to be like, hey, man, I don't want to be a part of this algorithm no more, I commend her for that. And honestly, for anybody else that was teetering on the edge, that opened those apps a little less than they used to, go full bore and delete those daggone things, or what I'm saying, just deactivate your account or remove them from your phone. But if you don't, again, guys, this is Dogon_SS. You can follow me on all of those platforms. But sir, what do you think, Sir JV Wins? How do you feel about this? Her removing herself from the social media world, for her own sanctity. What are your thoughts?
She sounds like somebody who is addicted. And when you're addicted to something, you have to go cold turkey. There's no middle ground. Uh, Alcoholics can't drink. They can't be like, I can be a social drinker. I'm not an alcoholic. I can have a few drinks here or there. Doesn't rule me, control me. I can still function. I don't have an overwhelming desire to continue to do it or indulge in it. Not everyone has that luxury. People who have a dependency towards alcohol have to attend meetings and they have to control their sobriety. You have to go cold turkey. You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's a lifelong journey. She sounds like she's an addict, and when you're an addict, you have to recuse yourself from the environment completely. That's what it sounds like to me. 2 weeks ago we talked about the doctor who said social media has made people more narcissistic. He said that people externalize their self-worth because of excessive social media use. Therefore, turning inward in such a way that their that the reflection that they see of themselves internally, both and externally, in terms of who they see in the mirror, has nothing to do with how they feel about themselves, but everything to do with how they feel others feel about them. And in the process, it causes you to think negatively about you, to hate yourself, to feel worse about who you are as a person. It's made people more narcissistic. He broke it down scientifically, explaining this. I encourage everybody to go and check that video out a couple weeks ago on this channel. Last week we talked about Method Man, who, along with Fat Joe, expressed the mental health journey that he continues to be on, where he really had to seek therapy and go through various procedural methodologies in order to best cope on a daily basis with his fluctuating mental status. And I, particularly when we discussed that topic, correlated people's general decline in mental health overall to excessive technological use, social media specifically, as an unintended consequence. That is my personal opinion. You can disagree if you want, that's fine. But I think if you look at somebody like Ari Lennox, it is clear to me she feels as though this is something that she needs to do in order to seek happiness for herself. She sounds like she's an addict. And at this point, I personally think that you can group, I don't know, man. This might sound a little extreme, but I think social media can be categorized along with alcohol, um, you know, Percocet. What are some of these other addictive yet legal drugs? Um,
Oxycodone.
Oxycodone, hydrocodone, morphine. Like I pretty much at this point group social media in with those various things. I consider it to be a drug. Excessive use of it creates addictive personality traits. And some people get wrapped up in it and some people don't. It all depends on what your vice is. Some
Mm,
people get addicted to pains. I mean, some people get addicted to pills. Some people get addicted to alcohol. Some people get addicted to various other drugs. Some
mm,
people get addicted to perks, Xannies, whatever. All right. And then you have some people who get addicted to social media. But because social media remains the wild, wild west and completely deregulated, and it's just an anything goes world where it's completely pay to play. Any form of content can get put on there so long as you're willing to pay for it to be there. There's no way to really police it and figure out how to create an environment in which people can consume this stuff responsibly. Social media to me is the next frontier. Um, as they created laws, you got to be 21 to drink. You got to be 21 to gamble. Gambling is another one. People can get addicted to gambling. That's another one. Sex, adult movies, pornography. Those are other addictions, right? I group social media in with all that stuff, in my opinion. And where they say you got to be 18 or older to consume adult content, you got to be 21 and older to drink, you got to be 21 and over to gamble. Social media at this point, because of the nature of it, remains completely declassified and unregulated. But in my opinion, the brain can get addicted to that crap just as much as those other things. That's why I feel like she's talking like this. If you feel as though you need to go 100% cold turkey on something because of the way that it is negatively impacting you, to me, that reeks of an unhealthy addiction to something. So I think as time passes along and we learn more about the mental and cerebral impacts of some of these various applications and we get more educated on them as a society, we will learn more than we already know how truly negatively impactful the excessive use of these apps are. Speaking on my own personal journey, I remove myself from these various things unless they directly teach me something or make me money a very long time ago. I purged all of my accounts of every piece or form of content that I felt negatively impacted me mentally.
mm.
Now, again, social media is not something that has created an unhealthy codependent relationship with me. Therefore, I can still dip and dab and use it here or there without it being a full blown addiction. There are, however, various other vices to which I cannot say that. And I think for her, social media happens to be a vice to which she cannot say that. And there's a litany of other people out here to whom that also applies. So, to that end, I congratulate her so long as she's serious and really committed. Because who knows? She might jump back on Instagram and TikTok a year from now. Who knows? But if she's serious, I commend her. I hope that it sticks. And way more people, far too many more people, need to follow suit because some of y'all out there really do need to put this social media down. It is rotting your brain. It is rotting your brain just like GMO, mass produced foods. It is rotting your brain just like candy and soda. It is rotting your brain just like all of these other things that rot your brain. It's no different. In my opinion, it is poison to the mind. And if you cannot healthily counterbalance them with actually being in the world and not allowing that to shape your entire identity, it is best that you just get off entirely.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. But it's not again, and I agree with that, at least with the aspect of, this was her addiction. She was probably on that thing a lot. trying to help grow a business, trying to really interact with her people for real. There was probably already an interest that she had with it. So for all of those reasons, I'm pretty sure she was intimately involved with it. So, right on with that. But at the same time, um, as I said in my first comments, those apps, the ones she named, they already lost their luster. Like there's there's no use to getting on that outside of TikTok. TikTok still has a purpose and a point to it in the sense that it's the wave. It's what the kids are doing nowadays. So that would be a pretty big sacrifice, I would say, for her to make to not be on TikTok either. But again, TikTok is it's such a niche thing or niche thing for people that get involved with that. So um, yeah, man. I mean, I commend her for this. And if this is an addiction of hers, as you mentioned, well, that's basically what she said because it was impacting her so much because she was on it so much.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if this is an addiction that she had, it's good that she takes it head up like this, and that's the best way of alleviating yourself of that. And if there's anybody else out there, really, because I've had my moments with Instagram in particular. I wasn't really on Facebook at all, still not, but I was real heavy on Instagram. And once the algorithm started getting out of my hands, like once the what was coming in my feed was getting out of my hands, I just had enough. Um, even now, man, the people that I do follow, I know they be posting stuff, but it don't be going across my timeline. It be garbage. So, and the For You page, it's nothing I want. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna force myself to be on here to look at stuff that I don't want to see. So the same thing that goes on with TikTok, man. It's like, I try to dislike, not be interested, block people. They're still gonna give you trash, and they get to a point, and it's like, why are you still scrolling? So I just, exit out of the app. So I'm pretty sure she's hit these apexes as well. Somewhere in her life where, it was like, hey man, what's the use of these things? So she said, I'm still gonna be on YouTube though. So hey, join us out here on the YouTube streets.
Right.
YouTube is still thugging. Uh this isn't technically a social media platform, so I guess she can skate off technicalities. But there's still messiness out here. There's still tea being spilled. All right. There's still doom and gloom out here. And any type of vice you want to get yourself into. The only thing you gotta do is like one video and your algorithm gonna go nuts off that. It's like, hey man, look, I like one cat video. That was a cute damn cat. Now they're sending me all kinds of garbage. You know what I'm saying? But make sure you guys hit the like button here so you guys can get recommended more conscious approach videos. All right. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. So kudos to her. And anybody else out there that's on the fence with this thing, man. You don't have to be at addiction level. That stuff's toxic in general. So follow suit, man, and give it less hours. Last thing I'll say is like when I was on TikTok when I first got on it, they had like a wellness section in there. I was like, wellness. And I clicked on it and it was like, this how many hours you were spending on TikTok this week versus, because when I first got it, I was like, and then one week I went ham. I was all up in it. And then they showed me like a bar graph and it spiked one week. And I was like, well, I don't like that. And if there is like a wellness check type thing in here, it's probably significant, for them to like legal reasons. So I was like, I don't think I should have this. So I deleted it for a while. But I downloaded it again for business reasons. But I still make sure I keep it under control and only try to look up stuff that I find genuinely interesting because I used to get a lot of my information from social media. Not all of my information, but when somebody had something interesting to say, it gave me something to research. So I would use it as a hub for information, find something that I like, but I'm not going to listen to this guy. I'm going to go actually do the background research because I've never heard of this person before. Whoever they mentioned that has this book. So now I'm about to, figure out what they got, listen to their lectures or what have you. And, those algorithms aren't there anymore. I'll be searching and searching, but they're not there. So I have to find new ways of learning things, from people that I don't already know myself. So yeah, man, it's crazy out there, man. But yeah, man. I really agree with this. I stand behind this.
I do as well. I think people have become addicted to it unhealthily. And one thing that I will agree with her on is she says she truly believes that she can still market herself without being on in these places. That is 100% true. Um, yeah, if you want to reach particular demographics, I suppose maintaining a presence on these various platforms is helpful. But I'm a firm believer that the cream always rises to the top. If you have true gifts and talents, and you know how to leverage them in the proper capacities, you don't need to be all over Instagram, TikTok, and social media in order to be relevant and get to where you want to be. Um, look at all of the other, there are people who are actors and actresses and celebrities and whatnot, and they do their thing, and their activity on social media is minimal at best, and they're probably not even the ones who are actually doing it. They probably farm the work out to somebody else who actually likes doing that stuff. So if you truly have abilities, whether you're on there or not, or maintain any sort of prominent presence, in my opinion, doesn't matter. Look at all these older people who are still doing a thing, entertainment wise, and they rarely ever post. Andre 3000 don't be on Instagram at all, but as soon as he does anything, people are talking about it, whether it's in music or anything else. So if you truly have these gifts and you're leveraging them in the right way to contribute to the world, you don't need to be there. It is a foolhardy idea if you choose to believe in the idea that you have to be in these places, because you don't. You really don't. So, shouts out to her if she truly is committed to that. I think more people need to follow suit, because way too many of y'all are addicted to this stuff. And I see what y'all be posting, and it's like, damn, do you really have that much time in the day? But a lot of people just are on these things and they spend a little too much time, and a lot of that needs to get dialed back. I really do believe that social media is a drug. It's just a deregulated one. And it's not the only it's not the only drug that's deregulated, but it's probably the most prevalent. And there have already been studies that have been conducted which shows that receiving a like on a post is a dopamine rush that is the same as the kind of dopamine rush that your brain receives when you take actual drugs. Like, there have been studies on this scientifically that have proven that that is the case. So don't take my word for it. Go and look up those journal articles and those educational research pieces that back that idea up. So good luck to Miss Lennox out there. If she's truly committed to this, I back her 100%. I think that people are better the less time they spend on these apps. Learn something, make money, but to just indulge in it and create a sense of identity based on your activity from it, which is what I believe most people do, is really problematic.
Agreed. 1,000. 1,000.
Shouts out to Ari Lennox. Good luck.
Yeah.